Hello everybody and welcome to the weekly countdown of the top 10 best-selling light novels in Japan. This covering February 19th to the 25th of 2018. Good number of new titles on the list this week, and no single title occupies two spots like we had with Danmachi last week, where we had the regular edition and special edition holding spots, or even like the Ryuo's Work Is Never Done, which has held multiple volumes in the top 10. So good sort of variety of titles this week, and a number of new ones, and we even have a brand new number one, and it's not even what was number 2 last week. It's like a totally new volume that was out this week. So let's get right into the list. At number 10, with 7,061 copies sold, Maou Toubatsu Shita Auto Medachitakunai Node Guildmaster ni Natta, volume number 3. This one in English: after tormenting the devil, I did not want to stand out, so I became a guildmaster. There is no English language license for this title currently. The kingdom of Albane was blessed with the appearance of the miracle children, individuals with the greatest talents ever seen. Despite being around 10 years old, with abilities dozens of times stronger than the average adventurer, they managed to reach a strength score that exceeded 100,000 points, granting them the Triple S adventure grade. With a mere party of 5 people, they defeated the Demon Lord, regaining the kingdom's peace. After that journey, Dick Silver, the most balanced between them, racked his brain to not draw the public attention. In the end, he decided to become the guildmaster of a suburban guild as a reward, becoming its 12th successor. After 5 years, he reached his aim and then became a regular of its own guild's cafe. But one day, as he was drinking at the bar as always, the daughter of a certain aristocrat came to pay him a visit. So, fantasy series with, I guess, OP characters, but an OP character who, after doing the big deed of killing the devil, is kind of like, meh, I'm done, checking out, don't want to be a part of public view, and gets himself a cushy little government job. It sounds like it could be all right. Actually, I'm pretty sure that Volume 2 appeared on the top 10 when it came out as well. Although, you know, it's funny how I recall this, because I recall having to try and figure out what Volume 2 was about because there was like nothing on it. And now we have this lovely entry on novel updates. So obviously people are starting to catch up. At number 9, with 7,251 copies sold, it's a brand new series, and it is Shin Sangoku Shimai. Now, this is actually a new series by the author of Oda Nobuna no Yabou. It looks like it's a retelling of the Three Kingdoms storyline, so Chinese history. Now this one, it appears that it's like one of those blending of ancient history plus isekai, or, you know, taken out of your time period and then assuming the role of a classic historical figure. And that seems to be what this story is about. No English license, not a lot of information online about this one at this moment, but again, it's a brand new series, so that's not too surprising. At number 8, with 8,270 copies sold, volume number 6 of Genjitsu Shugi Yuusha no Oukoku Saikenki, or as we commonly call it, How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Now this one is licensed in English by J Novel Club. They have released all the previous 5 volumes, so we're actually caught up. This is a brand new release coming out in Japan, number 6, and J Novel, if they're sticking true to their usual, will probably start translating this and having the installments on their site within the next couple of weeks. This one has also been optioned by 7 Seas for a physical release, but I don't, if I recall, I should have looked this up again, but if I recall, they're not publishing it until like September. So we still got a ways to wait until this one starts getting released in a print format. I have reviewed the first 2 volumes. I really liked it, actually. It was a pretty good series. Another one of those series that I keep saying to myself, like, you know, I should really get back to, because I'd like to read more of it. Oh, hero! With that cliched line, Kazuya Soma found himself summoned to another world, and his adventure did not begin. After he presents his plan to strengthen the country economically and militarily, the king cedes the throne to him, and Soma finds himself saddled with ruling the nation. What's more, he's betrothed to the king's daughter now. In order to get the country back on its feet, Soma calls the wise, the talented, and the gifted to his side. 5 people gather before the newly crowned Soma. Just what are the many talents and abilities they possess? What path will his outlook as a realist take Soma and the people of his country down? A revolutionary transferred to another world administrative fantasy series starts here. So yeah, it's much more of a isekai where the hero is building a nation as opposed to just fighting a war with the Demon King. There is a Demon King and all that, but this one, it's a lot more about strengthening a country through economics, through agriculture, and everything else. There is civil strife. Of course, not everybody approves of the stuff that Soma's doing. It just has a lot of variety. I mean, even just in the first 2 volumes. I've heard from quite a number of you that it continues to be excellent beyond that. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten there yet. At number 7, with 8,377 copies sold, Volume 17 of Seirei Tsukai no Blade Dance, in English known as Blade Dance of Elementalers. There's no English license for the light novels or the manga that was spun off from this series. However, there was a 12-episode plus 6 specials anime, which aired back July to September of 2014, which was licensed in North America by Sentai Filmworks. In a world where elemental spirits are summoned, there exists a tournament that grants not only a single wish to its champion, but also blessing and protection to her home country. Therefore, nations race to produce the next Ren Ashbel, the strongest blade dancer, and only spirit elementalers, who are all pure young maidens, are able to qualify. 16-year-old Kamito Kazahaya, the only male spirit elementaler, is forced to attend Arishiya, a spirit academy, where he meets the other spirit contractors around his age. One of these is the red-haired Claire Rouge, who insists that Kamito become her contracted humanoid spirit. But Kamito cannot forget his one and only wish, to take back his former partner, Restia Ashdal. Join Kamito as he, with the help of his sword spirit Terminus Est, seeks to become the next champion in the upcoming Blade Dance of the Elementalers. At number 6, with 9,411 copies sold, Volume 4 of 29 to JK. Now, we don't have this licensed in English. This was on the list last week. Like I said, despite being at volume number 4, there's not a lot of information to be found on this one, other than it involves a very inappropriate romantic comedy relationship between a 29-year-old dude and a 15-year-old girl. And maybe that's pretty much all we should say about that one. Moving right along. At number 5, with 9,611 copies sold, volume number 20 of Oda Nobuna no Yabou. So, interesting that the author has 2 different series, a brand new series plus a volume of their ongoing series, released within the same week. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if, I guess from like a publishing point of view, maybe there is some cross promotion that you figure that if people are like ongoing fans of the existing work, that maybe they tried to do something like get the new one positioned beside the old series. I don't know. But it does seem kind of weird that you wouldn't sort of spread the work out a little bit. You know, in other authors where we see them doing multiple series, whether it be like Reki Kawahara or even like Donmachi, where there's like a sword, there's a spin-off, Sword Oratoria, it seems like they usually do separate them with at least a couple months in between. So kind of interesting that they didn't in this case. There are no license for the light novels or manga of Oda Nobuna no Yabou. Now this one in English is translated to Oda Nobuna's Ambition. Now, there is an English translation of the title because there was a 12-episode anime, which ran July to September of 2012, and is licensed in North America by Sentai Filmworks as well. Suddenly finding himself in the Sangoku era, regular high school student Sagahara Yoshiharu is about to be killed in the battlefield. He is saved by none other than the man who later becomes the infamous Toyotomi Hideyoshi, but at a cost to his life. With history completely changed because of Yoshibaru's actions, he tries to make things right again, but it seems that history is taking a different course than the one he learned in school. Oda Nobunaga is now a brilliant but young girl, Oda Nobuna. Yoshiharu starts working under her command to bring back history to its correct course and find his way back home to the present world. A number 4 with 21,578 copies sold. That's a mighty big jump from 5 to 4. Volume number 9 of Imouto Seirei, or A Sister's All You Need. Now, this one is actually licensed, and we are going to be getting the first volume in May of 2018 from Yen On. There was also a 12-episode anime, which currently you can actually stream on Crunchyroll. It's complete. It showed, was it last season or the season before? But within the past couple of months. So it has finished airing the 12 episodes. It's still streaming on Crunchyroll, so you can watch it on that. I wasn't really able to find out online how many volumes of the light novel the anime covered. So if you have any insight into that, feel free to leave that in the comments down below. Surrounded by many different kinds of companions, our protagonist, hopeless Siscon Hashima Itsuki. First-class genius and lover, the high-end unfortunate beauty, Kani Nayuta. Troubled about love, troubled about friendships, troubled even in her dreams, victor of the 3 crowns, Shirakawa Miyako. Brutal tax saber, Ono Ashley. Natural-born illustrator, Puriketsu. Each and every one as hesitant as the next, and each and every one dealing with their own headaches. This is a busy story of a group of bewildering characters that play games together, take trips together, and work together, never a single dull day. Watching over them is the kind and thoughtful, completely perfect, superhuman little brother of Itsuki, Chihiro, with a huge secret of his own. From the author that brought you Boku wa Tomodachi ga Tsukanai, or Haganai, Hirasaka Yomi has drawn the curtains for the latest youth love comedy series. Now, this one, so generally speaking, the main character, the one male character, is as far as I understand it, is a light novelist, and very heavily writes the ecchi, siscon type light novels. And I know in the anime for this one, the show would animate his books, and it was really out there, man. Wow, if I can't even imagine an entire series being done in that way with a little sister begging her older brother to eat her panties and stuff. Yeah, that was a thing. And what's funny is that I think that hook really backfired, because I've seen a lot of people that were like, I am not watching this trash, and yet and now are also saying I'm not going to read that junk of a light novel. But for the people who stuck it out, I actually heard from quite a few people that is such a minor, inconsequential aspect of the actual story, that the actual story is more about, these 20-somethings basically coming to terms with trying to adult and live functional lives. So it actually sounds more of like a slice of life as opposed to, you know, a really ecchi kind of inappropriate siscon type thing. So I'm not too sure. I mean, I'm going to be checking it out in May. You know, as I usually do for the channel, I try to read at least 1 to 2 volumes of different series just to, you know, so that I can share my thoughts with all of you and you can at least have an idea of what it's all about. So I guess I'll see whether it's half decent or cringeworthy when the time comes. At number 3, with 24,409 copies sold, Volume 5 of Sword Art Online Progressive. So it took the top spot for 2 weeks. Really, I mean, it only took the top spot last week because Danmachi's sales were split over 2 different types of volumes, or like 2 editions. But nonetheless, you know, when you take a look at its 3-week total and it's sold over 138,000 copies, Sword Art is the machine when it comes to light novel sales. This one, of course, the retelling of the Aincrad storyline. Really, like I said, you know, I've said it in the last couple of videos. I've only read the first volume. I think it was like, really, it's not because I didn't like it. In fact, I thought it was better than Sword Art Online, the main series. But I guess the thing is that when Kawahara has been releasing these at like 1 a year, I didn't really feel too pressured that I had to like keep up. Although supposedly volume number 6 is going to be released in May, so either he's upped the pace in general, or I heard from a few people that volume 5 and 6 seem to be like a part 1 and part 2, or like it was one big story that they just kind of split into 2 books because, you know, 140,000 copies sold. So maybe that's why. I don't know if this is going to become a habit that Progressive comes out more regularly. It would be nice if it did, seeing as how they've got to work through 75 floors, and apparently they're only on like floor 6, I think, at this point, somebody was saying. So at number 2, with 25,025 copies sold, volume number 13 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Yeah, I'm wussing out. I'm not even going to try the Japanese title because there's a reason that people just call it Danmachi for short. This one, of course, yes, we do have it licensed for English, being released by Yen On. They're going to be releasing volume 11 in April. There was a 13-episode anime which covered volumes 1 to 5. You can still watch it on Crunchyroll. They have just recently announced that there is going to be a brand new theatrical film, as well as a 2nd season. So all of that, very good news. Hopefully they don't try to rush too much. The anime, the first season, I think really suffered because they tried to plow through so much material in just this short 13-episode series. I mean, it was still decent, but nowhere near, I don't think, had the impact that the books do. The books are phenomenal. It's a really great series. One that I often bemoan the fact that the title is just horrible, to try and convince people that it's not just some cheesy harem kind of series, but that in reality it's actually a very well constructed fantasy. And as we're going through it, a really well done character study in terms of how a hero is molded from, you know, the startings of a innocent and naive young man to being a hero. Excellent series. If you haven't picked it up, do yourself a favor and do so. Like I said, actually, we're not that far off. So volume 13 is out in Japan just now, and we're going to be getting volume 11 in another month. So yeah, that's not too bad. Finally, at number 1, with 49,228 copies sold, volume 10 of No Game, No Life. Now, this is licensed for release in English by Yen On. Now, volume 7 is supposed to come out in June now, 2018? Or is it July? I don't know. You know what? They have postponed volume 7 so many times. Like, I just don't get it. You know, the whole light novel podcast thing takes off. I need to get somebody from Yen on this show and ask them, like, why no game, no life? Why so many delays? And that series, like numerous volumes of that series have been delayed. I mean, I'm not saying that delays are unique to this one, but certainly the number of times and the number and the length of the delays are fairly unique to this series. And you know, we've theorized different things, whether it's a translator issue, whether it's the fact that Yu Kamiya has struggled a lot with health issues, and so his output isn't exactly stunning as far as Japanese releases. Like, I mean, we are only at volume 10 in Japan. So, and I mean, this series has been coming out for a number of years, so it's pretty slow compared to your average light novel series. Now this one also, there is a 12 episode anime, which you can stream on Crunchyroll. It covered volumes 1 to 3. And there was a film released last summer called No Game, No Life 0. And it was an adaptation of volume number 6. And it may sound weird, but volume 6 was actually a prequel to the main series. It told sort of the story of what happened during the Great War. And the anime, the film had stunning visuals. It was beautiful to watch. I don't think it quite told the story as well as the novel, but it certainly did it justice. It certainly wasn't a bad rendition. I just thought that the novel had just a little bit more character in it and a little bit more explanation of sort of some of the planning and everything else. So I thought that was a little bit better, but still absolutely the movie was worth seeing. Volume 6 is my favorite of the No Game, No Life volumes. Meet Sora and Shiro, a brother and sister who are loser shut-ins by normal standards. But these siblings don't play by the rules of the crappy game that is average society. In the world of gaming, this genius pair reigns supreme, their invincible avatar so famous that it's the stuff of urban legend. So when a young boy calling himself God summons the siblings to a fantastic alternate world where war is forbidden and all conflicts, even those involving national borders, are decided by the outcomes of games, Sora and Shiro have pretty much hit the jackpot. But they soon learn that in this world, humanity, cornered and outnumbered by other species, survives within the confines of one city. Will Sora and Shiro, two failures at life, turn out to be the saviors of mankind? Let the games begin. No Game, No Life, you know what? It is a really fun series. I really like the series, and it has some clever takes on games and stuff like that. At times it can be just a little over the top with the ecchi bits. Like, I mean, a little eye rolling, honestly. It's not just that it's got ecchi bits, but you're just kind of like, okay, enough. But overall, it's a pretty good series. And like I said, it'll be funny to read volume 7 whenever the thing actually comes out. Because I read volume 6 and I was so blown away by that volume. I can't help but feel I'm going to be disappointed by volume number 7. But I'm looking forward to finding that out. I'd like to say a special thank you in this video to Mitchell Von Region, Kyle Block, Bob Thompson, and Yuki Ali, and all the rest of my supporters on Patreon. Thanks to them, this channel continues to thrive and expand with upcoming projects such as the light novel podcast that, if you're watching this, you still have until this coming Friday, if you're interested in being a co-host, to submit that information. You can find that video. I'll put a card up above if you're interested. Again, you still have another week if you would like to put together a audio file and submit it. So those are your top 10 best-selling light novels for the week of February 19th to the 25th of 2018. Like I said, a pretty nice mix of titles on the list this week. I like it when all 10 are different series, and it just gives it some nice variety. And This week was actually pretty easy on me because most of these titles at least have some information available in English, which was cool. Makes my life feel a little easier. So if you're brand new to the channel and you love light novels, you should subscribe. I do this countdown every single week, as well as doing weekly reviews of 2 to 3 volumes of light novels as well. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.